Hey all, Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the south, more specifically Belhaven, North Carolina, and I am in front of the Belhaven Memorial Museum. This is a very fascinating local museum here in Belhaven, North Carolina. How this museum came about, there was a local woman, a woman after my own heart, an Ava Blount Way, and what she would do is she just collected strange things. Call it hoarding, call it collecting, call it what you will, but she found unusual things people around town would give her, that the doctors would give her, just unusual things that she could put in her collection. Apparently she would let people tour her house, and she would give the proceeds to the Red Cross. Anyway, she died in the 60s. She was in her 90s, and she donated her entire collection to the town, and so they put it in their old city hall and used it to create their own local museum. Now, this for me is quite an exciting feat, because before I ever visited any roadside attractions, before I ever went to any roadside museums, probably back close to the year 2000, I was introduced to a website known as Roadside America, and it completely opened up my perception, opened up my world, and set me begin on this course that my life is still taking. I had no idea roadside attractions were even a thing. I found out about these wonderful places that I'd never been, that I wanted to see. So I was trying to find, what could I see? What are these wonderful things could I see? So I looked what's available in North Carolina, not realizing this was on the complete opposite side of the state, but this was one of the first things that I found in North Carolina that I decided I wanted to see. And yeah, that was a long time ago. That was over a decade ago. So finally, I get to come here and see the Belhaven Museum. Follow me. Here are the unmentionables. No one mentioned any of this stuff. Well, there's a man's barbecue apron. There's just so many little things to see here. You could spend all day just poking through all the pieces of Mrs. Way's collection. Up here's an old goose. Look at that. It's a collection of military helmets. Uh-oh. Even some evil ones. Look at this. This is an insulator like that, found somehow inside of a tree. Then some coconut people. A coconut that was mailed. Look at that. That's a piece of a spacecraft found in Bahamas. That is wild. Dressed fleas. Let's see if we can dress as a bride and groom. There they are. You see them? There's a doll show in 1941, and this doll right here won the prize for smallest doll. It's in North Carolina, made out of buttons. In addition to that, there's a USA made of buttons, and just some just random wonderful buttons. This dress was worn by a lady weighing 700 pounds. Actually doesn't look that big for a 700-pound lady. Alright, here's where we get a little spooky. To look at Mrs. Way's jars of fun. It's like snake heads, and there's like a snake in a jar. I don't know whose toenails those are. They don't look human. And that is a pretty large shrimp. Some rabbit embryos. My gosh, this is horrifying. This is a tumor. Tumor that was removed from a local woman. Yeah, you can see it's split. Look how big my hand is and how big that tumor is. And what is that? That is a 10-pound tumor removed from a woman in a hospital. I wonder how Mrs. May was able to get all this medical waste. There's a two-faced pig. There's all sorts of creepy things. There's a little baby deer in that jar. Oh, look at that. There's A jar full of snakes. That is creepy. If you look back behind this this display, there's this really creepy skeleton in the corner. Oh my goodness. We got a collection of bird nests, beehives. That's a human skull. I also got here some rattlesnake rattles. Some sort of petrified, yeah, it's a mummified possum found behind a cemetery there. Some mummified squirrel in there. This snake swallowed a wooden egg and died. Here's the wooden egg lodged in his body. Oh, look at that. I got some cat automatons. It's the marine exhibit. Some big crusty ocean life all stuck together. Like, it looks like a whale's skull. There's a crabby old lady. You gotta love shell art. That shell lady right there. There's a child's casket right there. There's different stones and other various collectibles. But right there is the smallest elephant. Can you see? I don't know if this is actually part of the museum or if I just wandered into a storage area, but check out this sheep's head. There's some kitchen artifacts and some stuff you don't see a lot of. These are antiqued canned foods. We got some canned chicken fat, some canned bone chicken, some canned quail. Antique canned fish. Never drink water. It's not good advice. Here's Miss Way's quilt collection, but they do have a hair wreath on top made of human hair. These are old, like, cigar wrappers, it looks like. There's some Chinese foot binding shoes. This is Miss Way right here.
I always said I could lose stuff without ever trying.
There she is. There's a shoe collection down here. And it says these are chicken sunglasses, and the explanation they give is that it's to stop the chickens from being able to figure out how to get over the fence. Interesting. And there's some horses' glasses to keep sand out of their eyes, as well as various human eyeglasses up here.
Eureka! I found it!
This human hair wreath actually has the names of the people. So I guess different people had their hair bound together for a wreath. There's so many things, it's easy to miss something. You got a peach seed basket, just a basket carved out of a peach pit, but right below it is Grover Cleveland's belt buckle. That's just crazy. And then an opium box to keep your opium, and then a little troll monster of some sort. It says in case of emergency break glass, but I don't know which emergency would require a corn cob. Oh, and look, it's always fun to see what's inside of a outhouse. Oh my goodness, what even is that? I do think it is very important to show these floodwaters here. The museum was, yeah, see that car driving through the water. This museum was open today, and I was actually shocked because when I pulled up, the road in front of it was almost completely flooded. You can see on the other side of the street has flooding. That parking lot right there is completely flooded. Just these floodwaters coming from the river. We're very close to the ocean. This flooding is actually caused by Hurricane Florence, a hurricane that first started almost a month ago. And what it was explained to me was that because the river's still so high, that when the high tide comes in, it still pushes the river and causes a brand new flooding every day. And this is, I mean, weeks have passed, and people here are still dealing with this. But very impressive that they did take the effort to open the museum, even though it's difficult to get to. I actually found a way to drive around back to be able to park here. I was speaking with the lady that runs the museum. She said that they get 1 to 2 visitors a week, and that made me very sad, because you've got, this is such a unique collection. As far as like local museums go, where else would you find that sort of uniqueness, that sort of strangeness? So please, if you are in this area, in the area of Belhaven, North Carolina, please stop and visit the Belhaven Memorial Museum to see just this amazing story, these amazing things. You won't regret it. I appreciate you guys watching. Please, if you'd like to see other strange museums I've been to, please check down the link in the description to an interactive map that'll show you where I've been, and you can make suggestions on where you feel I need to go. And if you want to buy a t-shirt like this one, I have a t-shirt shop as well. Also, if you don't know, donate at least $3 on Patreon, I'd be happy to send you postcards while I'm on my road trips. But for now, this one's in the bag.